Okay, have you ever had that feeling? You know exactly what you should be doing to make your life better, but for some reason, you just can't make yourself do it? Well, it turns out that's a pretty universal struggle. And today, we're going to dig into why that happens and, more importantly, how you can break out of it. I mean, we've all been there, right? You've read the books, you've watched the videos, your head is just crammed full of good advice. And yet, you're still stuck. You know what to do, but actually doing it feels impossible. It's so frustrating, and it can make you feel completely powerless. But here's a thought. What if the problem isn't that you don't have enough knowledge? What if the real issue is that all that knowledge is just, well, skin deep, and your ego is clinging to it for dear life? We're going to explore and it all starts with flipping the script on what it means to be wise. You know, Socrates said that real wisdom, true understanding, only begins when we can admit we actually know nothing. Because the moment we think we've got it all figured out, our ego takes the wheel. We shut down, we stop being curious, and we get trapped by our own certainty. And that trap, it actually has a name. For today's explainer, we're going to call it the box. Now, this isn't a real place, of course. It's a state of mind. It's like a mental prison that we build for ourselves, and it all starts the moment we betray our own sense of what's right. So, how does this actually work? Well, it starts with something small, an act of self-betrayal. You do something you know you probably shouldn't. And then, to make yourself feel better about it, you start making up excuses. You invent justifications. You literally start to bend reality to make yourself the good guy in the story, even when you're not. That's it. That's the moment the walls of the box go up around you. And here's a perfect example of how your perception just completely shifts. Think about driving in traffic. When you're late, you're stressed, you are deep inside that box. Suddenly, every other driver is a complete moron, an obstacle put on this earth just to ruin your day. But on a lazy Sunday afternoon drive, there's just people. The world didn't change. You did. So here's the good news. If we're the ones who build this prison, cell by cell, that also means we're the ones holding the key. The question is, what does that key look like? And how on earth do we use it to get out? Well, it turns out the key isn't just one thing. It's a whole framework of 4 incredibly powerful practices. These are what we'll call the life disciplines, and they're adapted from the work of psychiatrist M. Scott Peck. Think of these as the tools you need to start taking down the box, brick by brick. So what are they? The 4 disciplines are delaying gratification, accepting responsibility, having a dedication to truth, and balancing. Each one of these is designed to break down a specific wall of your mental prison. All right, first up, delaying gratification. This is all about choosing the harder thing now for a much better reward later. It's about having that tough, honest conversation instead of just yelling. It's choosing the healthy meal when every fiber of your being is screaming for pizza. This discipline is really the foundation of self-control. Next, and this is a big one, accepting responsibility. You know, blaming other people is basically the official language spoken inside the box. We blame our job, the economy, our childhood, but real freedom, real power, only happens when we own our choices and stop trying to hand off responsibility for our own lives. Okay, now for what might be the hardest one of all, dedication to truth. This takes an incredible amount of courage. It's the courage to finally admit a relationship is over, or that your own bad habits are what's causing your problems, or that, you know what, you were just plain wrong. The truth can definitely sting, but lying to yourself, that's the cement that holds the walls of your prison together. And finally, we have balancing. Just picture your life as a table with 4 legs. Your physical health, your emotional life and relationships, your mind, and your spiritual side. Now, if you neglect one of those legs, say you just grind at work and totally let your health go, the whole table gets wobbly. It becomes unstable, which makes it so much easier to just retreat back into the safety of the box when things get hard. So that's the theory. But what happens when you take these ideas and you put them under the most extreme pressure you can imagine? What does it really look like to face your self-imposed limits? For that, we turn to the ultimate testing lab, Special Forces Training. This stuff is way more than just a physical challenge. It's a psychological furnace designed to burn away every single excuse, every justification, and every lie you tell yourself until all that's left is the raw truth of what you are actually capable of. And in that environment, these recruits learn a fundamental truth about fear. It's like a monster in the shadows. The more you run away from it, the bigger and scarier it gets. But the second you turn around and face it head on, you realize it's got no real power over you at all. And this leads us to probably the most mind-blowing discovery to come out of all this intense training. It's a single number that will completely shatter everything you think you know about your own limits. Think about it. That moment when your brain is screaming, I can't take another step. This is it. I'm completely done. That feeling of hitting your absolute breaking point is actually you using only about 30% of your body's true capacity. Let that sink in. The limits we feel every single day aren't real physical walls. They're mental barriers. They are the walls of the box. So what's the connection here? How do we tie together this idea of a mental box with this shocking discovery that our limits are basically just an illusion? Well, that is the big takeaway.
Here's how it all comes together. The box is that state of self-deception we create to protect our ego. Those 4 life disciplines, those are the practical, real-world tools we use to break it down. And by facing the truth, by confronting our fears, we smash through that imaginary 30% wall and start to tap into the massive reserve of strength that we had inside us the entire time.
What this means is that your true potential isn't something you need to go searching for out in the world. It's not a destination. It's more like a beautiful statue that's already inside you, just waiting to be uncovered. It has been there all along, patiently waiting for you to start chipping away at the layers of excuses and the walls of the box that you've built around it. And that really just leaves us with one final question. It's the one that you and only you can answer. What are the justifications, the blame games, and the comfortable little lies that are holding you in place? What is the box that's limiting you?